This program contains scenes of nonsensical garbage and coarse language and is intended for a mature audience. Viewer discretion is advised.
Why, hello, my little airbenders. Does that make sense? I feel like it makes sense. Anyway, Lethal Cosmetics came out with a very intricate Avatar: The Last Airbender collection. And while yes, this was sent to me in PR, I'm gonna still give you my full honest thoughts because that's how we do shit on this channel. That said, if you were ever interested in wanting to purchase anything from Lethal Cosmetics, I do have an affiliate code with them. Keep in mind, I do not make any money off this code. This is just for you to use and abuse. Use the code garbage and you can save 10% off your order. Now, I don't know if this code is going to be working with this collection. I hope it is. If not, my bad. I'm so sorry. But if you don't want to shop directly at Lethal Cosmetics, you can also pick this up at Camera Ready Cosmetics. So all the information, everything you need to know will be listed down below. All right, so I'm going to be honest. I don't know anything about this show. I think when it came out, I was in college and I was a college kid. Okay, so like I didn't have time for Nickelodeon unless it was like 90s Nickelodeon TV. And we all saw how that aged like milk. So while I don't have an emotional attachment to the show, I can appreciate pretty makeup, and that's what this collection is. It's very pretty. Now keep in mind, in today's video, I'm going to show you everything except for the lipsticks, because when Lethal reached out to me and said, oh, hey, do you want to have this collection? I was like, absolutely. They messaged me like a day later and they were like, oops, we could send you most of it now, but the lipsticks will have to come later. So that's the one thing I cannot talk about is the lipsticks. So if you wanted to see that, I'm sorry. I wanted to see them too. But one day in the future, we'll see them. So in today's video, it's everything but those products. Now that we got all of that bullshit out of the way, let's get into it. I'm gonna start with my favorite thing in the whole collection. And I mean, it should come as no surprise. Look at this little baby. I love him so much. I love him so much. I love you. I love you. It's like a nice family portrait shot. Anyway, I love this so much. I'm gonna say this right off the bat, brands need to take notice because this is how you do an IP collection, okay? This is how you do it. Because I don't think anybody saw this coming. So I don't even know what the f this is, let alone the reference, but I don't give a because this is beautiful. You're beautiful. I love this so much. Not only is this super affordable, it retails for $23 US or 25 euro, but it's also constructed really well. It's big enough where you could put a lot of in it, and I mean, you could really cram this boy up. And I love the outside material. It's just so pretty, and it's like that beautiful kind of like Sherpa material. But the one thing though that I do worry about is that this can get a little gross probably over time if you're not careful, that is. If you're being and throwing your makeup all willy-nilly in there, I can see this kind of being like a colorful, gross mess. So I don't know how well this cleans. Actually, do they have a tag on the inside? Oh my God, I'm gonna be that person. Like, do you have a tag? How do I clean this? They don't have a tag. So I don't know. I'm assuming it's probably like spot cleaning. Okay, like it's probably what it is. A little bit of Resolve, you're fine, okay? This is the first time that I've ever seen Lethal come out with a makeup bag, and low-key, I'm very sad because when I think about the collections that I had with them, oh my God, we could have done a spaceship. Bitch, we could have done a spaceship. I don't even need to have my name on it. Can you just make something with a spaceship or a dumpster or something? I don't care. Just, can you make something? Because if you're constructing things like this, sky's the limit, baby, okay? All jokes aside, and like IP aside, Lethal does a really beautiful job with their design. So it makes me excited for the potential future that could come with products like this. And if it doesn't happen again, I will burn things to the ground. So yeah, anyway, other than being like super, super duper adorable, the price point is king. I can't get over how affordable it is considering how nicely structured the bag is. Because it's not just like some, you know, bullshit liner. Like, it actually has a very beautiful liner on the inside. Again, you could put a lot of stuff in it. Plus the zipper pull. I don't even know what you are. You're like a little goblin. Love the goblin. I don't know, is it a goblin? You know what it kind of reminds me of? The Pizza Hut Noid. Or is it the Domino's? No, it's a Pizza Hut Noid. Whatever, it's the Noid. That's what the little zipper pull reminds me of. Anyway, this gets A+++++ in my book, and I need more stuff like this. So keep making cute like this. This is adorable. And even better than the price, I love the fact that you can purchase this separately. So many times you have to buy a large makeup collection where you just don't want any of it and you just want the bag. I know I'm not alone in that, and I love that you can purchase this on its own. So if you just want the bag and nothing else, baby, it's there for you. All right, at an affordable price, in my opinion. So let's move on to the next thing that I really loved in this collection. That's the Cabbage sponge. Look at this little guy. This is the cutest thing ever. I don't understand it. Do I have to? I don't care. It's a Cabbage. Listen, I can appreciate something fun and quirky, just like the best of them. But I'm not gonna lie though and say that I've used this sponge because I haven't. If you are new to this channel, hi, my name is Theresa and I'm a garbage person, but I also don't fuck with decorative fun sponges. I have a very strong allegiance with the Shop Miss A Paw Paw sponge because I can get like 50 of them for $7. And those sponges have a chokehold on me. But when I do see sponges that have really cute embossing, I have to get them because it just goes for my little collection. Anyway, this guy retails for about $7, which it's not bad. Like, I feel like it's a pretty fair price. It's not the most expensive thing, but it's not the cheapest thing either. It's kind of like right in the middle. And I think for actually how cute it is, I feel like it's pretty fair. Now, I did wet the sponge, so I will include a little video here because I was kind of curious to see how big it gets. And it does get big. And it definitely has the same kind of material as the Shop Miss A, maybe a little bit more like springy. And I'm sure if you use it, it's fine, but we'll never know, bud. We'll never know because you're gonna live in a glass jar for the rest of your life, which I know kind of sounds depressing, but I assure you, he'll have a good home. I guarantee it. I should actually do a video about that. I know a lot of people have asked, like, what kind of sponges do you have? Because you always talk about them. I will show you them because I do have a lot of sponges and they're cute. I do appreciate how well this is constructed. I love the embossing. I love the color. I love the little spongy springiness to it. It's adorable. So in a glass jar you go. It's like this. I'm sure if you interview the sponge, it's probably like, help, help. I mean, I don't blame it, but you're gonna live in a glass jar. It's like a mommy dearest moment. No more plastic sponges. Okay, I don't, what the fuck am I talking about? I guess it'd be more silicone, right? Anyway, I am on a 10 today and I've only had like 5 hours of sleep. I'm doing great. Let's talk about the highlighter. Bitch, the highlighter. This is fucking good. I love this highlighter. I really do. I am a huge fan of duochrome highlighters that have a transparent base because everybody looks good with them. Now, Lethal's formula is nice, but not my favorite, but I still like them a lot. This is by far my favorite kind of highlighter they put out, and that's including the highlighters that I put out with Lethal. Now, the reason why Lethal's formula is not my favorite is a little bit more on the powdery side. I like things that are a little bit more slick. So think of like the Rare Beauty highlighters, for example. Like, I just love that slick formula. It feels good, it looks good, and you are guaranteed to have an alien slut moment. But as soon as I put this on my skin, I was like, oh, fuck me. It is so pretty. It melts perfectly and it produces this beautiful peachy pink hue that just makes you look like a demure alien slut goddess. This is definitely not for the faint of heart. I mean, as you can fucking see, like, I am cutting a bitch with my cheekbones. And for it being a little bit on the powdery side, I thought there was going to be like, I don't know, explosion of micro glitter. There isn't though. There's no chunkiness to it. It doesn't sit into your pores to create this like really weird shitty texture. This is like seamless. So you don't have to worry about any unnecessary glitter bukkake because this formula just melts into the skin to give you that beautiful alien slut glow. This is just gorgeous. And I also have to say, it's really nice seeing it in this component. I'm so used to seeing Lethal's highlighters in cardboard packaging, but this was a very nice change of pace because one, I like that, you know, the pan was a circle. I know it's very small and stupid, but I actually like that. It's also easier for me to store too. I like that you get a nice mirror, and I just love the overall component. And I also like the little pan embossing, which I know kind of looks a little janky now because I was rubbing my little fingies in it, but it was pretty when I first opened it up. But this is great though. I love this. Ugh, so good. I love a good pinky peach highlighter that just looks like this. This is not for the faint of heart. Now that said, this retails for about 19 US or 21 euro. And I feel like it's actually pretty comparable to their normal price for their highlighters, maybe $1 cheaper. So yay for savings. We love that. We love that so much. So let's move on to this little guy. This is the Multi-Chrome Glitter Gel, and this retails for 21 US or 23 euro. Now Soka shifts from a green, teal, blue, purple, and beige. Now listen, if you don't know me, I don't fuck with shit like this because I see it as a product that will blind me. I have very, very sensitive eyes and I cry at a drop of a dime. It's incredibly annoying because I love makeup and there's so many products that just fuck me up and I can't wear it because as soon as I wear it, I'll start to tear up and cry and it's a whole fucking thing. It's a thing. That said, you know, when this was announced, I was like, I don't know if I'm gonna fucking try this product. But I figured, you know what? I know Lethal not to put out something that would hurt me. I know they wouldn't hurt me. Their eye products have always been kind to me. And I figured if they were going to do something fucking batshit crazy, they wouldn't make it full of bullshit and blind the consumer. And I'm glad I took a leap of faith because this is actually really fucking cool. Now, I don't know how often I will use this product because this kind of product is more, I don't know, more of like a specific time and place, like a rave or a festival, or maybe at a three-way with a weird couple you met at Costco. Listen, I don't know what you people do. Just know that there's no kink shaming here. But the point is, this is kind of like a time and place product. And being that I'm a woman of a certain age, I don't see myself wearing this all the time. However, when I do meet a sexy couple at the sample station, I know exactly what I'm going to wear. Anyway, when I did use this product, I did layer it over a base of shadow, and I'm happy that I did because the base is rather transparent. So while it doesn't look clumpy or weird, it's definitely a little thin. So you'll definitely be seeing your lid poking through. Granted, it's a very celestial alien slut moment, but still very, very thin. And even with kind of layering the product, it still kind of felt a little thin. But when I added it over shadow, bitch, it looked fucking sick. Okay, it looked sick. The glitter, so happy to say this, did not burn me at all. And I feel like that is the case with these products. Like when I think about when Milk Cosmetics came out with kind of like a similar product, like a glitter gel with Bailey Sarian, that shit burned me hardcore. It looked really pretty, but like I just kind of shied away from that product ever since. I'm not a fan of a spicy butthole on the eye. I'm just not. So I'm happy to say that there wasn't that with this product. Now, it's not 100% weightless, and I don't think they actually ever said that or intended to, but I mention that because if you are someone that doesn't like, I don't know, kind of feeling weighted on the lid where it just feels like your lids are drooping all the time, there is definitely a little heftiness. Is that even the right word? There's a little heft to the product. It's not like super uncomfortable by any means, but you definitely know that it's on your lid. Now, when it does dry down, it doesn't feel uncomfortable. It doesn't create any weird texture on the lid. I didn't feel like my lid was turning into stone. It didn't flake. It has excellent longevity and it pairs very, very beautifully with the water palette. I feel like a combination of these two is just like, it's a nice little extension to this. However, I am excited to see how this pairs with the other palettes, but it just feels like these were made to be used together. Now, I did use eyeliners on top of it, and I'm happy to say that I didn't have any like weird reaction. It didn't look bumpy or weird or anything like that. It was very, very perfect. And the other thing I want to point out is that this product is plastic free, and maybe that's the reason why there's like no weird stinging or any kind of bullshit. I don't really know. But in any case, I just appreciate that I didn't have like a spicy butthole moment. So thank you so much. But yeah, this was a lot of fun. A lot more fun than I realized. And also very, very, very easy to clean. So don't feel worried that you're like, oh, how the fuck am I gonna get this off? This came off very, very easily. And the little glitters, like they weren't sharp. I don't know, like this was actually really good. Cannot wait to wear that at a weird threesome. Okay. Just kidding, just kidding. Anyway, let's move on to the eyeliners. One of my favorite products in this whole set, and I honestly can't even believe it, are these like liquid liners. So each one of these comes in a little set. You get a multi-chrome and a matte, and they retail for about 19 US or 21 euro. These are fucking bananas. Let me show you the shades. So you have Katara. The multi-chrome shifts from an aquamarine blue and purple, and it's paired with a deep ink blue matte. And I apologize if I'm fucking up these names, I really am. Then you have Taupe. The multi-chrome shifts from olive, lime, emerald green, and teal, and it comes with a deep brown matte liner. There's Zuko. The multi-chrome liner shifts from a red, orange, gold, and olive green, and it's paired with a burgundy matte liner. And then there's Ong. The translucent multi-chrome liner shifts from peach, gold, and green, and it's paired with a very beautiful matte periwinkle liner. Now listen, I don't normally mess with liquid liner because I'm just not good at it. And I often find that the applicator is just like way too big, and it usually makes me look like I got punched in the fucking eye, which isn't cute. So I shy away from products like this because I don't feel like they're super user-friendly, in my opinion. If you know how to do liquid liner, that's a true art. That said, these are fucking nice. They're nice. First of all, when it comes to just color liquid eyeliner, there is usually a good chance the product is just, I don't know, dries down so matte that it can flake off and it creates like this weird texture. And then as it starts to flake off, it goes into your eye and almost blinds you. And I remember that with the Fenty eyeliners. I loved them in the beginning because I was like, oh my God, these are so cute. Remember them? They were like literally 8 years old at this point. No, probably like 4 years old. And I loved them. But I noticed the more that I used them, the more that it started to kind of flake off. And I was like, what the fuck is this? And it got to be super uncomfortable and just, ugh. Which kind of sucks because I did buy a backup of that product and I regret it horribly, but whatever. Anyway, These, however, are incredibly opaque. And I was actually like really blown away with the multi-chrome options. Again, because I feel like when it comes to these kinds of multi-chrome, especially in like this liquid formula, it often looks just so thin and just streaky and fucking weird. And it burns when you apply it. It creates this weird texture and it never looks quite right. That was not the case with these. One, these didn't burn. Amazing. But two, they had full opacity after just one swipe. And you don't need to layer these on top of their matte counterpart. Like, these stand on their own. And I really, really, really want them to come out with one that is just waterline friendly. I feel like, oh my God, that would be amazing. Because I think there's only like one brand I feel like that does it right, and that's Kaleidos. Like actually no, I take that back. ColourPop is also pretty good too. ColourPop and Kaleidos have been like the best that I've found so far. Sugar Drizzle was really, really good, but I feel like Kaleidos and ColourPop just kind of trump them. So I would love to see Lethal kind of create this for the waterline. Bitch, oh my God, it'd be so good. So again, like I've mentioned, I have super sensitive eyes, and I feel like the fact that there is no stinging with this product, oh bitch, it's so good, so good. I didn't experience any issues with application. I didn't notice it bleeding into the outer corner, because that's also something that tends to happen, I feel like, with liquid eyeliners. It just bleeds and it just fucking spreads and it just looks weird. Happy to say that didn't happen with these. Both formulas in the set dry down, but they don't dry down too fast where you feel like you have to work fast, but it's not too slow where you feel like you have to wear a fucking wet paint sign. And again, the opacity, it's awesome. So I know I like really just talked a lot about the multi-chrome, but the mattes as well, like it just has full instant opacity. And I absolutely love that the applicator is very thin and comfortable. Oftentimes the applicator is too thick, and again, if you have hooded eyes, it just can look like a huge mess. But the fact that this is so thin, you can really press it up to the lash line to get a very thin, precise line, and I love it. The only complaint that I have, and I didn't notice with any of the rest of them, just with the brown shade, that kind of actually has like a green hue to it. It's really pretty. Anyway, I noticed that this shade is a little leaky. So for me, I kind of have to like have it sitting upright as opposed to the other ones where I can actually lay them down. Again, didn't experience that at all with the other products. It was just this one, which kind of makes me wonder if this is just kind of like a bum applicator, which I know that shit happens all the time. So maybe that's what it is. But yeah, this was the one that was kind of leaky. Everything else was fine. Luckily, it was very easy to clean, so it wasn't a huge pain in the ass, but it's something that I wanted to note during my review of these products. But anyway, all that aside, I wish that these were actually permanent, because I feel like this is something that I would actually purchase again and again, because I can't believe how good their multi-chrome liner looks. Like the fact that it doesn't sting, oh bitch, so good, so good. Last but certainly not least, let's talk about all of these palettes. Let's talk about them. So each one of these 9-pan palettes retail for about 29 US or 32 euro. Let me show you their color stories. Starting with water, there are 2 metallic shades. There are 2 multi-chromes in this palette, as well as 5 mattes. The earth palette has 1 duochrome, 2 metallic shadows, 1 multi-chrome, and 5 mattes. The fire palette has 3 metallics, 1 multi-chrome, and 5 mattes. And last but certainly not least, we have the air palette, which consists of 1 duochrome, 2 metallics, 1 multi-chrome, and 5 mattes. For today's video, I did a bunch of looks with these palettes, so while I give you my 2 cents, I'll show them in the corner. Now, I used a fair amount of shades in these palettes. Did I use them all? No, but I used a good chunk of them. So instead of breaking it down by each palette, I'm happy to say that they all operated very much the same. There was nothing glaringly different about my experience when using each one of these palettes on their own. But before I jump into the formula, I do want to say that I love Lethal, right? I have always loved Lethal, but I feel like as of late, their releases haven't been like super fucking exciting for me. I think the last thing that I feel like was truly memorable, and something that I feel like has been in the description box of most of my videos, is their mascara, their color mascara, especially in the lower lash line, not in the top. I don't know, it just doesn't work in the top, but in the lower lash line, oh bitch, it's so good. It's so good. That's the last product that I feel super excited about. And of course, listen, don't get me wrong, I am a basic bitch, right? I'm in my basic bitch era. And as much as I do love the Mellow Grove palette, there really hasn't been anything that kind of has like stopped me in my tracks. Now, this collection has been hinted for a while now, and you know, I was like, I don't know how this is gonna be, like, whatever. They have never collabed with an IP before, and usually when it comes to IPs, the collaborations can either go like one of 2 ways, obviously, right? It either is like fucking amazing, or it's the worst thing you've ever tried. So when they released their video last week, I was like, holy shit, this looks good. And then I got it into my hands and I was like, oh my God, this looks so much fucking better in person. Granted, their video and all the photos that have come out look amazing, but there's just something about having this in your hands that you're like, oh, bitch, like it's fucking good. So as I was opening it during my very long shift at work, it actually put me in a better mood because while I have been a neutral Nelly of sorts, it was nice to see just beautiful pops of rich color. So let's break it down by formula. Starting with the mattes because that's the majority of the palettes. Fuck me up. Now, I don't know if they upgraded their formula. Lethal has always had solid mattes, but there's something super special about these shadows that they're probably my favorite part of all the palettes. And don't get me wrong, I do love the metallics and we will talk about those, but the mattes, oh, fuck me up. Like they are so good. They are so good. They are incredibly pigmented. I didn't experience any issues with application whatsoever. The colors in each one of these little babies, they just play so beautifully with each other. You don't have to worry about having any sort of like patchiness or muddiness or like shade skipping. The mattes blend just so effortlessly that it takes little to no time at all to create a very beautiful, seamless blend. Basically just looks like, I mean, what I'm giving you today is very bog water, which I fucking love. But I just love all like the rich, beautiful tones of these palettes. Like they're so good. And because it was such an easy application, there was minimal to no fallout. Maybe with some of like the richer shades, like some of the kind of like brownish shades, I did notice a little bit of fallout, but it wasn't the end of the world. I didn't feel like I needed to do my eye makeup first and then my base. Now, the one thing I do want to point out about the mattes is the potential of shade overlap. While yes, to the eye, they do look similar, during application, there are nuances that just provide so much fucking dimension. So like, for example, with the Earth palette, you have like a lime green and you have an olive green. And sometimes when like lime and olive are kind of close, it could just be like one color, like one muddy bullshit mess. But I'm happy to say that each one stands on their own. So the olive shade just, I don't know, just gives the lime such dimension that just makes it look just fucking perfect, just perfect. Again, swampy bog witch goodness. And the same could be said for the two kind of reddish shades. So like in the Fire palette, for example, you have a very beautiful crimson red. And then in the Air palette, you have more of like a corally red. So like to kind of give you like a little idea. So you can see the crimson compared to the coral. So yeah, like it looks the same, but it's not. And I love that the deeper shades, like the red shades, for example, or even the blue shades, there is no staining. Because I look like paper, that's always a very good chance of staining. No, these were very easy to clean at the end of the day. And the same can be said for some of the brown shades. Like the browns are either more of like a neutral or kind of like a swampy undertone. I think that was how one of them was described, which I feel like it's a little bit more cool tone. It has like a little bit more green in this one, it kind of feels like, while the neutral one kind of feels, I don't know, like it's not super warm leaning because they definitely have some like warmer browns in this palette. So for example, like that's from the top shadow is from Earth, the middle one is from Water, and then the bottom one is from the Air palette. And I believe this is another kind of like a reddish brown color. And that one is from the Fire palette. So yeah, so maybe not that one per se, but the other three browns, I think when you look at them, you're kind of like, oh, it kind of looks the same. It's not. The shadows are just so beautifully nuanced that they really just complete the look. I sincerely had no issues when applying the mattes, and I'm really like not being facetious when I say that it was actually like a joy and a pleasure to use these shadows, because as I was watching just all the fucking, I have so much Bravo I need to get caught up on because, you know, work is sucking my soul. As I was like playing with these shadows, I was finding myself less interested in the shows because I was like, oh, this looks really pretty. Like, oh, I don't even want to put a shimmer on top of it because the gradients just look so fucking nice. They look really nice. Like I said, Lethal has always had amazing matte quality, and in fact I feel like this is somehow even better. I don't know how it's possible, but I'm like, this is fucking great. I want all of this. I need more of this. So let's move on to the shimmer shades. Lethal has always, again, very much like their mattes, they have always created very beautiful shimmer shades. They know how to make a very beautiful metallic shadow. So whether it's a true metallic or a duochrome, they know what they're doing. Yeah, they can be a little messy, but they're beautiful, they're bright, they're sparkly, and they don't require to be built up. They are definitely alien slut shadows through and through. Now, they work great with glitter glue. They're incredibly long lasting. You don't have to worry about them flaking or just getting like a weird gnarly texture. They'll never fall into your eyes, they'll never blind you. And I find that these are super sensitive eye friendly. So I don't have a bad thing to say about them. They work great in the inner corner. They work great all over the lid. Like, they are just fucking shiny and perfect. And even with the addition of a little hollow in I believe it was the water palette. When I think of like hollow in a shadow, I think of Odin's eye, and I remember how fucking messy it was. Happy to say, didn't have that problem with these. Granted, it's not like super, super duper hollow, but you definitely do see like a light shift. It's cute. Now, when it comes to their multi-chromes, they have definitely come a long way. When they first came out, they were okay. Not the greatest, but definitely A for effort. And since then, with every release that they include a multi-chrome in, it just gets stronger and stronger. And I feel like if they keep going, soon they're going to be recognized for not only having amazing mattes and shimmers, but they're going to be recognized for their multi-chromes as well. Now, their multi-chromes are definitely on the thinner side. So unlike like a true jeweled multi-chrome, which is the kind of multi-chromes that I like, where in those multi-chromes, they are incredibly pigmented from the jump. These are kind of like, I don't know, like they have training wheels on, right? And when I say training wheels, I mean kind of putting like a layer of shadow on first and then putting the multi-chrome on top of it. When you have a base down, there's a greater chance of you seeing the shift. But again, if I compare it to say Cleona, like you could see that shit from fucking space. This one, not so much. Again, they have come a long way when it comes to multi-chromes from when they first introduced them, but there's still work to be done to make them like a true jeweled multi-chrome, like their liners, for example. Like these are fucking truly like, whoa, like I can see the shift. These, not so much. But there are a lot of different types of multi-chromes, right? So this is more of like a preference thing. Well, yes, you can see the shift with these, albeit it's more of a baby shift. You still do see the shift. It comes down to preference. And for me, I want something that looks like a jewel that I would find in a cavern somewhere. That said, when using the multi-chromes, which I made sure to use all of these little bubbies, they did have their moments of fallout, but they adhered nicely with glitter glue. And again, very similarly to the shimmer shadows or the metallic shadows, there's no spicy butthole chemical burn reaction. There was no flaking, no weird texture. Great longevity. And again, just gorgeous tones that just really pair very well with the rest of the palette. And with that said, there's a lot of variety regarding how many looks you can create with each one of these babies. So whether you pick up, one palette or the whole collection, you get a wide range of fabulous looks that are great for the day as well as the night. And honestly, when I look at these palettes, I get excited. It makes me want to play with color again, which by the way, this yellow is a fucking oof, bitch. It's so good. But looking into these little guys, like it just, I don't know, like it makes me want to turn myself into a swampy Mimi Bobak every fucking day. Listen, I've been living my Anne fantasy for way too long. Like, who the fuck am I? Lately, I'm just someone who gets excited to go to Costco. And not just for the possible romantic entanglements with a couple near the sample station. No, I'm excited for bulk buys, batteries, and toilet paper. Is that what happens when you get older? You lose your sense of self, you lose your sense of color, excitement, and then you settle for the fucking mundane? Do you just settle for neutral eyeshadows? Well, that, because I'm not dead yet, which I feel like if I keep going at my job, I will be at the end of the year, but that's neither here or there. And for the first time in a long time, I feel excited about color. And it's really kind of all thanks to this little collection. I may not understand it. I may have no idea what any of this means. And I don't know if any of these color palettes are really true to the show or not. But what I do know is that this is a whole lot better than that ColourPop collection. And we can all agree on that. So brands, take notice, because this is how you do a motherfucking IP. Now I want to hear from y'all. Let me know down below if you are interested in checking out this collection. Are you going to get the whole thing? Are you going to get some of it? If you are a fan of Avatar, does this make sense? Am I insane? Don't answer the last question. But no, seriously, I would love to hear from y'all about this. And listen, if you are not into Avatar, do yourself a favor and pick up this guy. He is so cute. He's just so cute. I can't. I love you. Okay, anyway. I want to say again, thank you so much to Lethal for sending this my way. It'll be available on May 31st. Everything you need to know will be listed down in the description box down below. Thank you to my beautiful patrons, my YouTube members, and yeah, thank you for keeping this delicious, disgusting garbage boat afloat. I'll see y'all on Wednesday. Also, I'm going to be doing a Twitch stream tomorrow. I'll leave that information down below. Come join me on Twitch. I could be more free on Twitch. Okay.